You know, e-marketing is such an important part of our lives right now that we forget the fact that it's still in its infancy. In his book, Risky is the New Safe, Randy Gage says, the statistics that you read about online commerce may seem mind-blowing, and the numbers grow substantially every season. But you have to keep in mind that we are still at the very, very earliest stages of online purchasing right now. Those huge sales figures that we see reported today are just a fraction of what it will be in 5 to 10 years from now. So I know everybody in this audience is thinking, what does that mean for me? You're thinking, how can I be part of the future of e-commerce? What are the tools that we need? How can people find me online? How can I make my online presence more purple? We have only 20 minutes today to talk about a topic that really deserves 2 weeks. But here, to offer us some insight for our long-range planning are the all-you-can-eat website guys, Justin Hartzman and Jeremy Perrine. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's a little awkward for us up here. We're usually in front of a webcam and a monitor talking to people, so it's good to see faces. This is Jeremy Perrine, and I'm Justin Hartzman, and they often call us the odd couple, and that's kind of a little bit about what we do. We like to stand out in everything that we're working on, have a presence, and that's where our name, All You Can Eat Internet, comes from.
We're probably the only people here who don't work directly in the jewelry industry, but we do have wives, and our wives have quite the affinity towards new, expensive, flashy jewelry.
Bring them over. So I'll tell you a little bit about us. Our presentation isn't about what we do every day for ourselves, but more about what we can teach you guys, what we can do for yourselves and your businesses of all different sorts. We have 12 plus years in this industry. We specialize in social media, mobile and cross-browser expertise. We're big into the web brokering, and we can get that's a whole other topic, but once you guys have a website that's earning a lot of money, we sell them to people who are looking to purchase them. Everything we do is about leading-edge web development, and that's on the app side and the internet side, the mobile side, so we do all those different things.
So today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We'll be talking about mobile, responsive design, social media, and different tips to help you stand out when it comes to the search engines. So for starters, let's talk a little bit about mobile. Historically, a cell phone was this big, clunky device that our parents had that they had pretty much for emergency calls only. Today, we can control our house's temperatures on our phones, we can connect with our loved ones over video, and we can securely make purchases online anytime, all over the world. There's a stat that shows that 75% of the world actually has access to a mobile phone. So you see everyone from toddlers to our grandparents using a smartphone or a tablet in some form. This changes the way that we communicate, it changes the way that we disseminate information, and it creates a lot of new opportunities for business people to connect with their audience. Each year, as we were mentioning earlier, we see more and more e-commerce happening over mobile. By the end of this year, 37% of all sales that occur online will be done using some sort of smartphone or mobile device. So in the past, going mobile was optional. Now it's a requirement. The odds are that once you tell someone about your company, the first thing they're going to do is search your name in Google or take a look for your website directly. And if your website, they can't find you, or if your website won't load properly on their phone, what are they going to think? So let's talk a little bit about the different ways that you can go mobile. There's always this discussion and debate between, do I create an app, or do I go with more of a mobile optimized site? And you might not be able to view all the parts of that slide, so I'll help you walk through some of it. And we'll start with an app. I'm sure you've heard a lot about apps. Your friends, your children might tell you about this great new app that they've found. And an app actually provides the most advanced integration that you can have with a mobile phone. It gives you the maximum functionality, and it actually even allows you to make certain information available offline, whereas with the traditional mobile site, the user has to be connected to the internet to see any of the information. And one of the really neat tools with a mobile app is that it has push notifications. So for any of you who have an iPhone or an Android, you might notice that if you have the CNN app or the BBC app, that any breaking news gets pushed to you in a notification. if you run a business such as a jewelry business, is a great way to push special offers and promotions to all of your customers and get it right in their faces. So when it comes to the actual apps, the only really downside that I would say about it is that it's a little bit more expensive than a traditional optimized mobile site, and it takes more time to develop. When it comes to just a mobile site, these are really fast to build, they are inexpensive, and they can still provide your business with a strong online presence. Often there's three main reasons why people are coming to visit you and your mobile site. They want to learn more about you, they want to see if you're a legitimate company, of course, and they want to find your contact information to speak with you. So it's a great starting point for someone who wants to begin to go mobile. They can start with a basic mobile site. It's very quick, it's easy, and it's inexpensive. A real-life example of the power of mobile would be fab.com. Many of you have probably heard of them, one of the largest retailers out there, and the moment that they actually made an app, they increased their online sales by 25% by simply giving that convenience to people to be able to make a purchase from the palm of their hands. So, in short, go mobile. So I'm just going to pass it off to Justin here, who's going to talk a little bit about social media.
Absolutely. You guys, everyone knows what social media is, I'm sure, but let's talk about how it can help you in your business. And, we're used to going to Facebook and looking at cats and pajamas and things like that, but it's more of a place where you can show your relevancy. It's your portal to your customers and the people around you. Some things we're going to talk about is connecting with your customers, the viral distribution and trends, quality versus quantity, which is really important, and to be edgy, unique, authoritative, and trendy. When we talk about connecting with your customers, people are spending a lot more time online in general and on social networks. On average, these are numbers from the beginning of the year, about 7 hours a month is spent on Facebook alone. And you'll see Pinterest is coming right up there at 1.5. That's a great tool for the artsy home decor, jewelry sort of community. It's a really good part to focus on. And over the years, you'll see in the second picture here that Facebook is obviously increasing, but Twitter for short messages and other stuff are coming up behind it. A really important point that I want to speak about is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more of a professional sort of community, and what it does is gives not only you but your brand a corporate face. And after they've seen you on Facebook, it's a place where they can go and see who's actually behind the business and the experiences that they've had and that you have moving forward. So that's really important. Let's talk a little bit about quality over quantity. Here's some examples actually from one of our Facebook pages. Jeremy and I have a business that provides free grocery coupons to millions of Americans every single day. And we've really been spending the last 3 or 4 years studying this market and what people like and what's behind it. So here's some examples of quality versus quantity. We've noticed that if you look on the left-hand side, you'll see a cartoon or a meme. Very simple. It says, "I wish I hadn't spent 1 hour cutting out coupons, saving $75 at the grocery store." Said no one ever. Obviously, we like to save money there. And we get a lot of response from stuff like this. We're not pushing, we're not promoting, we're not sending people back to our website, we're not doing any of the sorts. It's not business, it's appealing to their senses. And on this side, you'll see you have about 61 people who like this, and it's been shared 43 times. And this was within 5 minutes of posting this. And then on the right-hand side, you'll notice, it's kind of hard to see here, but we have a known brand, being Starbucks. We're offering something for them for free. They have to do nothing, and they don't have to sign up. And even though that's the reason why they're part of our Facebook page, they're looking for free coupons and things to help them save money, we only saw 5 people liking that and 1 share. So the whole idea is you want to give people a lot of good stuff that they can feel confident in and like and listen to, and then sometimes throw in the business stuff with it. Not just business, then fun. So that's a major tip that we can talk about. When we get into being, this edgy, unique, and authoritative, you can talk about being trendy and some things people are doing, but let's get back to some of the things that are working really well for the major brands out there that you can think about employing for yourself. And here's Pepsi. And what they did early last year was they partnered with 7-Eleven, and any sales that they had that came from a like or going into the store, they would give 5 cents from that purchase back to a charity. So they used Facebook, appealed to the senses of the community, and when you liked them, you got a coupon. So that was using their brand, 7-Eleven's brand, and community activism to get back to the public. That works very well. So if you can think of something like that, that would be a good thing to do. And then Mercedes-Benz, they went even further, and they said, we can give money back to the community. That happens a lot, but let's involve Facebook, let's involve mobile and let's get everyone together. So they created a game that was based on their new car and based on GPS locations and inviting your friends. So they brought all those social networking aspects, mobile, all together, and they created a huge amount of buzz, and their sales increased in the car about 5%, which is a huge amount for that. That gets us to the next part, which is responsive design. All this stuff is coming together. You can hear in the other presentations that social media, we went there to do it. We need to get our word across. So all that stuff comes back to here. But what you guys need to understand is you need to plan from the beginning. When you're working on a website, you're building out a plan, the more you do plan about that, the better off you're going to be in the first place. So we'll talk about what it is, why implement, and who's doing it. I know these are buzzwords like responsive design, but it's really important. So as you can see here on this picture about what it is, it's taking the same content and what you have on your website and what you want to show to people, and without making a second and third amount of work for you, creating a coding that allows it to go from one shape to a completely different shape by showing the same amount of things. And it's not just about doing that so when I go on the phone it looks right, but when we use this and think about it, and there's a lot of studies done on it, and we've spent a lot of time doing this, we can actually convert at a higher rate. And when we go back and we talk about all these things, we are discussing better conversions. At the end of the day, we want to get to our community because we want to show them things, but we're trying to sell them something at the end, and we want to make sure that you know that's a good way to do it. So plan from the beginning that you know you want to be cross-platform, and then when you work with whoever your local web designer, whoever it may be, they'll know how to do that, and they'll plan it from the beginning. It doesn't have to be more expensive. It just has to be thought about from the very beginning. Why implement it? We've talked about this a little bit before. People are going mobile. A lot of people are using their iPads. A lot of people are using their phones, and sales are just increasing heavily in this space. So it's a super important thing to be doing. Who's doing it? I just thought I'd bring up this example here. You have the big guys out there, like your Blue Niles, and you have your Tiffany's, and all those people who are going there. But even the small people, and there's this wonderful lady named Fiona Hutchinson. I don't know if people know her or not, but she's really taken this to the next level where from the beginning, she was one of the first to have responsive design, and not only did she go there, she promoted that she went there so it was available for everyone, and that's brought her a lot of new business, and she converts about double the amount on an iPhone or iPad version than she does online because that's where it's moving. So that's something you really have to think about. Jeremy's going to talk a little bit about SEO.
Yeah, just to end off, we wanted to go over a couple different tips that we can give you guys, and some ways that for free, actually, you can get some more traction and get some more traffic to your website. I'm sure you've heard a lot about SEO or search engine optimization. These are big buzzwords these days. And a lot of companies out there try to charge you a fair amount of money to actually get to the top of Google, as it is important. But at the end of the day, Google constantly changes their algorithm almost every other month. So no one has the exact secret sauce. We know certain baseline rules, but it's always evolving. One of the main focuses that you can do is always ensure that you have quality, unique content. So a lot of people don't like writing their content. They often outsource it to places like India. That's not the way to go. You want to do it here in-house, do it properly, and try not to copy what other people are doing. And the more quality content you have, the more pages that Google will start picking up and indexing. And what we're looking at here specifically is we did a search for engagement rings Toronto, another highly competitive keyword term that's hard to sometimes rank for organically. But past just organic rankings, you'll notice that some of these top listings here are all through what we call Google Places. So you have the address of the business, you have their phone number, such as Samuel Kleinberg Jewelers, Inc. And this is actually completely free. You can go there right now to google.com/places. You submit your company, you submit all the information, and you'll get a free listing on Google, and you have a much greater chance of getting a high ranking for this than you do with just the organic standard keywords. And another element, too, is you'll notice towards the bottom of that listing, it says that it has 6 Google reviews. These are also free, and no, we don't suggest that you just make up fake reviews. That's not the way to do it. But often you can give your customers some incentives. You might say, if you leave us a review, we'll give you 10% off your next purchase. The more reviews you have with Google, number one, the more credibility you have when people are looking into you. But past that as well, you're going to notice that your ranking for the Google Places, it will start to rise because you have more people who are actually talking about you and giving you a review. So Those are just,
Yeah.
did you want to add
I just
something?
want to add a little bit about
Yep.
content. Content's pretty important. Jeremy mentioned that. So the more you want to work on it and add articles and talk about individual pieces that you have, Google likes to read through that and understand it and disseminate that out there. Not only that, but other people will start picking up who are interested in what you have to say and link back to you. And this organic dissemination of information throughout your networks, and you can, push it along a little bit by asking a friend to talk about it or whatever, goes a much further way than spending $500, $1,000 with a search engine optimization company, which we do, but I don't recommend it for everyone. It's not the best. So get out there and do it organically and just work on it. It's about time and guerrilla marketing. And that's kind of where Jeremy and I started, having a website one day and figuring out how to get someone else there the next day. And it's just pounding the pavement and figuring out how to do it and making those connections. And eventually you get there. And that's how we got to where we are today. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any more information, we're happy, or any questions, we're happy to discuss them.
I have two questions. One, you were saying that you can actually take a website and optimize it for phone and tablets with just code. In other words, the person doesn't have their whole website redesigned. Is that possible?
It is certainly possible in most situations, depending on how their website was built and done originally. But again, it comes down to that planning. If it's something you've decided you want to do from the beginning, we can make sure that occurs, or anyone can make sure that occurs fairly easily, yes.
Can you address the importance of not having duplicate content on your website?
And that's a good point, and that's why I was saying it's important not to just outsource it to other people who will do it for you. Often they do start to copy what else is out there. You want to have that unique content, and the same way that Google will give you more relevancy and a higher ranking for unique content, alternatively, they're going to penalize you if they find that you have any content that is duplicate. And Google's smart, as we all know. They have a very advanced algorithm, and they'll figure it out. Even if you're stealing it from a website that might not be that popular, they're still going to find it.
Yeah, and Google's moving towards everything they wanted is relevancy. How relevant to what someone's typing in is what you're showing them. And they've given a lot more weight to the larger companies and organizations because they have a lot of money behind them and time and effort, and they're doing everything that Google wants. So just be relevant and go after the things that are maybe less generic but more we call it long-tail keywords. So if you want to be specific and you're selling, I'll just go back to this, engagement rings Toronto, you might go, engagement rings Toronto for a new bride or something along those lines. There's a lot of tools out there to show you what people are searching for. So go after the longer words versus the shorter words, which have a lot more competition for them.
Just before you were talking about Google reviews, you said that there was a way to have free listings on Google, and I just missed what you said.
It's called Google Places, and that's really where they're going now. You can just go to Google and search Google Places, and it'll take you to the page. And it's about submitting your proper information and then verifying your address and your phone number. And once they've done that and they know that you're a legitimate business and you've said you are the owner, they'll start putting things up like your proper address and your phone number and placing you on a map, as you can see right here on the slide. So A through G, they list on every page, and those are the businesses that have the most relevancy to the keyword, that have been approved by Google Places, and it's all free. Some people do charge to do this and add some things to it, but you can do it. And as soon as you start doing that, it gives you an account where you can then go do reviews of other people, and other people come reviews for you. And the more you're interactive with it, the higher you come up. And these results come up before general organic terms, so they are very valuable.
I have a quick follow-up to that. A lot of us are studio goldsmiths or studio jewelers, and I know my wife would come through the phone line right now and strangle me to death if I put my address in Google Places. Mm-hmm. Does it require an address, or can I get by just...
In this scenario, it actually would be required because it also integrates with Google Maps. So if people search for engagement rings Toronto on Google Maps, it will actually start to pinpoint the various people and their locations. So I believe it is a requirement. It also gets relevance
for how close they are, so they know generally what area you are, so location-based. But, there's simple ways around that, having a P.O. box in your close area and using that as your address or a forwarding address of the sorts.
Hi, my name is Jessica Todd. This is more of a question about the web. I was wondering, I make my own website, and I was wondering if you could clarify what you mean by duplicate content.
When we talk about duplicate content, we speak of things where you may have saw an article and you reposted it on your website, so it would look is exactly the same words as it was somewhere else. So if you want to take that and spin it out into your own words or paraphrase it, is always a better situation. Or coming up with original is always a way better scenario.
My question's for the odd couple. I just wanted you to talk maybe a little bit about having a traditional website versus a WordPress website versus a blog, and how important it is to keep your content moving. I feel like a blog is more about keeping fresh content all the time, which I think is important, but I don't know if it really is, and if it makes a difference if you have a traditional blog versus a WordPress, or a WordPress website versus a traditional website. I don't even know if that's a smart question. But
No, it's all questions are smart, first of all. We love WordPress. WordPress is very dynamic. And part of a WordPress website is it's a blogging platform in general. So any website that people have or we build in the WordPress blog aspect of it, because that is moving content, those things are fresh. Google likes fresh, so we always recommend to be doing that along with what we're calling a traditional website. And building on the WordPress platform is great because there's a lot of templates for inexpensive that can actually be purchased for them that are responsive. We talked about that earlier, where they will work over different platforms. So it's a really great tool. It's built very well. Google recognizes its coding and its speed, which helps out the whole process. So we definitely recommend that.
Hello, my name is Katie Kimber, and I have a question. It might just be for the two, for Justin and Jeremy, but maybe you all have insight. I'm just going online now with my work, and I'm a little timid about putting it on Facebook, though I see how that's been, like I've really noticed others' work, so I can really keep up on it because I could just pop onto Facebook. But I'm a little timid about people taking images or just leaving it out there and letting it go to Facebook.
Well, I have a pretty open view on these things. If people are taking your stuff and showing it to other people or using it, that's probably a good thing. But what you want to do is maybe watermark your images, which is a really simple process with Photoshop, or someone can help you with that. And then when it does get out there, your name's on it. So, it's flattery. It's a good form of marketing. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
This concludes the lecture by Justin Hartzman and Jeremy Perea from the All You Can Eat website, speaking about customizing the cow, new trends in cross-platform web optimization, from the 2013 SNAG Professional Development Seminar titled Sacred Cow, Purple Cow, Cash Cow. There are 5 additional presentations with recorded audio. An introduction to Sacred Cow, Purple Cow, Cash Cow by the organizers Andy Cooperman, Brigitte Martin, and myself, Harriete Estel Berman. The Unexpected Purple Cow, Pop-Up Stores and Alternative Exhibition Spaces by Natasha Granatstein. Purple Cow Documentation via Video and Photography by Rachel Timmons. Bringing the Purple Cow to Market, Tapping into the Experience Economy by Laura Bazant. Michelle Bilodeau offers us 10 tips for catching and keeping an editor's attention. These presentations are from the SNAG Professional Development Seminar that takes place each year during the SNAG conference. The presentation sponsors are SNAG, Society of North American Goldsmiths, and MJSA, Manufacturing Jewelers and Suppliers of America. Look for all 6 presentations from Sacred Cow, Purple Cow, Cash Cow on the Professional Development Seminar pages. There are 2 locations, and the links are really long, so this slide has 2 tiny URLs for finding this information. There are currently 21 slide presentations with audio from the past professional development seminars, in addition to a selection of handouts. This information is available for the arts and crafts community on the Professional Development Seminar page found on the SNAG website and my website. Ask Harriete offers additional material on many of the topics developed during the PDS. Contact me anytime with comments, questions, or suggestions for future professional development seminar topics.